Hello followers and welcome back to MrMFretwell Plays Minecraft, and we're here today in the tunnel system, and it's been some time since I played this. It's probably been about a week or so since I last played. I've been very busy with Feed the Beast amongst other things, and I've not really had too much time to sit down and actually record my LP world here, but I'm looking forward to doing a little bit of work with you guys today. I hope you are too. So, in today's episode, we're going to be working on the tunnel system, as I just alluded to there in the intro. And we're going to start and work on this corridor a little bit. And we're going to see how that goes. So, I've got a bunch of equipment here. I couldn't remember exactly what I brought, because it's been a little bit of a while again. Looks like I've got some clay. I've got some glass, which is good. I'm missing bone meal. I want to make white stained glass. I don't have any bone meal. How's our little cactus farm doing? Not too bad. So, if you recall, we spent the last couple of episodes over at the Mesa base, kind of working on... we have a little bit of white stained glass in there. So we need bones, that's what we need. So, we spent a couple of episodes working on that new spider trap, and I've been using that for lots of string. I have plenty of it now, so we're going to be moving on some other projects to do with that fairly soon. I thought we would take a little bit of a lighter episode, though, today, and kind of vary it up a little bit as well, because I know not everyone's too interested in redstone. So we're going to do some building today. On top of that, next episode we're going to do one of those challenge episodes that I talked about in episode 101. We're going to have a go at a little bit of a nighttime challenge next episode, and then after that we will probably start looking into our next redstone project. And I'm kind of a little bit stuck, to be honest. I'm not sure whether I want to do the gold farm first or whether I want to do the iron farm first. So I'm going to have a little bit of a think about that. And we're going to talk about my plans for that in a moment here. Let's see. Bone meal. There we go. So we're going to get some bone meal here, and we should be set now. So, yeah, back onto the main topic here. So the next project after the next couple of episodes, the next big redstone project. So I think I have mentioned this a little bit in the past, is the next set of projects in this base are going to be very mob farm themed. So we're going to have a dark room, we're going to have a gold farm. I decided more recently I was going to build an iron farm in this world. We're going to build that at the Mesa, simply because I'm going to chew through all my iron building hoppers and stuff in this base, so it makes sense to build an iron farm, so we're going to do that. And all of these things are very useful to me. Though I'm not exactly sure which order I want to do them in. The gold farm has to come before the dark room so that I can make the power tracks for the collection system. But the iron farm doesn't really fit into this equation. I could do either first. I do have the resources to build an iron farm. I'm going to be going with Doc M's design for that. And basically, I guess while we're talking about this, we can do some work here. So, the thing is with that design, it's not very resource intensive, it's just very labor intensive. And I actually did spend some time on a different world, building an iron golem farm from scratch. I have different worlds, and obviously survival worlds and stuff that I do off camera when I don't want to record. So, I've had a little bit of experience with building an iron golem farm. I'm by no means an expert. I've only ever done it once, and it took a long time. And it was very labor intensive, and to be honest with you, I'm not relishing doing that again, but it's not too bad. It is a little bit of a hassle on gold, because I need to build golden apples, craft golden apples to give to zombie villagers. There's that involved. I've got to build an infinite breeder. And I was thinking about maybe doing something with the villager trading as well, because I know you can get infinite villagers, or whatever they're called, the infinite trading thing, where you can get really good gear off them infinitely, so I might look into doing that. The thing is with that, though, I can't put that near the iron golem farm, because it'll mess up the spawning, so we can't do that. We could build that over here, but then it's transporting the villagers, so I think we're going to build a small infinite breeder over there, just to get the villagers that we need. But even so, that's only 3 golden apples. I'll probably have that in boxes, to be honest. But I'm not entirely sure on that. So, there is that. Aside from that, it's just kind of like stone bricks and torches and really things of that nature, dirt for scaffolding. There's no real redstone involved in it, and having unlimited iron would be useful. I don't know how useful it would be for the gold farm specifically, simply because in this survival world that I alluded to, I built the gold farm in that world prior to me building the iron golem farm. I built that a couple of months ago, so it wouldn't really warrant doing that. I mean, it's more probably useful for me to build a gold farm first, because I could do a number of things with a gold farm that maybe I necessarily couldn't do with an iron farm. I can make power tracks, things of that nature. So I'm going to have to sit on that for a little bit and decide just exactly what it is I want to do before jumping in and choosing one. I do know that the dark room will come after the gold farm though. So it's just going to be a case of deciding, do I want to do the gold farm first, or do I want to do the iron farm first? The iron farm, again, might be more handy for other projects around here, as far as the storage room goes and things like that, but the gold farm would enable me to get the big builds done at a quicker rate. So I'm going to have to think about that. So that's kind of the immediate plan, and no doubt by the time that episode rolls around, I will have made my mind up. The more and more I think about it, it's probably going to be the iron farm. I've kind of made up my own mind discussing it, which is sometimes how it rolls. So, let's get some stained glass here, and we're also going to want some of this. And the cyan dye we're going to need. We're going to make up some redstone lamps as well. Now then, this is how you craft the stained glass, if I recall. So, in addition to talking about that, I want to talk about some other stuff as well, which is not directly related to this series, but is still relatively important. So this is the first episode I am recording after I hit 500 subscribers, and I don't usually make a big deal out of these sort of milestones and things, simply because I don't think it's really warranted. I'm not really into celebrations too much. If you go back and see my early videos, I did it quite regularly. I think since then I've changed as a person, and I've learned a little bit more about YouTube, and I don't really think that making a huge celebration out of it is necessarily warranted in this case. So the aim is to start releasing and working towards a bunch of projects that I've been doing over really the past several months in some cases, because I've been working very hard behind the scenes on a number of things, and you have seen some of them start to come to fruition recently, mainly the Game Mode Network and stuff like that. So rather than me do a special video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dedicate my time that I would allocate to that video actually working on these behind the scenes projects, and this gives me a good opportunity kind of segue into this next conversation here regarding what progress I'm making on these behind the scenes projects. So, as I've mentioned numerous times in the past, I am actually working actively on rebranding my channel, and that is going pretty good now, I would say. I've almost done completely with the video descriptions. Not quite, but almost done. There's a couple of series left. It's kind of the big ones mainly now. So I've been working on that, and that's probably the first step to having the rebrand done. If you follow me on Twitter, you will have noticed that I've also been working quite hard on... I'm not sure what that sound was. I've also been working quite hard on designing new thumbnails, new templates, things of that nature. So I'm also working on that to kind of clean things up and hopefully improve a little bit. I don't think I have any cobble to fill this in, which could be a little bit of a problem. The reason I'm collecting coal with a fortune pick is I intend to do some building with coal blocks later on. So it's important that I actually collect this stuff, even if it seems maybe insignificant. It turns out I do have some cobble. Good. So, what were we talking about? I've completely forgotten. Oh yeah, rebrand stuff. So, regarding the rebrand, it's going okay. It could be going better. I could have had it done by now, probably, if I'd have spent more time on it. The video descriptions aren't necessarily interesting to do. I did think a little bit about perhaps doing a video explaining what the rebrand is all about, and kind of doing one of those desktop videos where you would actually kind of see what I'm doing in that. But I don't think it's really worth it, to be honest. It's gonna go sooner than it arrives, to be quite honest. So I'm working towards that. Pretty much everything has been done now regarding the thumbnails. The templates still need a little bit of work, depending on which series it is. Depends on what state it's at, essentially. Feed the Beast, obviously, is a new series, so the new template for that is done. Monaco is, I'm going to say it's done. It really isn't, but don't tell no one. It's close to being done. You know, I mean, we're talking, I probably need to sit down for 20 minutes, tops, and it will be done. And Monaco was a series that I didn't put a lot of editing caliber into compared to my other series, and that's not really changed, to be honest, because that game's not going to stick around like Minecraft is here. I'm going to play it through, and once I've played it, I'm going to move on and do something else. So it doesn't warrant a huge production like my LP does here, or Feed the Beast. They're all long-term series. That one, not so much. So that's almost done. My tutorials, there's been a little bit of, I wouldn't say debate or hot topic really, but I know there's a little bit of confusion over the tutorials and what's actually happened to them. So the tutorials are not dead, quote unquote. They're not done, if that makes sense. What the situation is with those is I put them on hold for the time being to work on this rebrand stuff, and also they've been partially replaced by Feed the Beast. Now that's not to say that they're gone forever, those of you who like the tutorials. I can assure you they will be coming back. It's just going to take a little bit of time. And that's one of the last series I plan to rebrand, as it was not as popular, and I was running out of things to do anyway. Now, the tutorials will eventually come back. It's just going to be kind of one of those long-term things before we begin to see the rewards of that come to fruition there. But I can assure you they will be coming back if the tutorials were something that you really liked. It may be a month or two. I'm not going to lie about that, but they will be coming back, and that's the main thing to think about. So I guess that kind of answers that question. The tutorials, I've not started on the template. My LP world here, that rebrand can't really go ahead right now because I'm waiting for the Sonic Aether shaders to update. I want to use shaders in that intro, and it doesn't currently work with stained glass. I'm going to do some panoramas of the lab here, and it doesn't really work right now with the stained glass. It just shows up as an opaque block, so that's just going to be a little bit of a problem until that gets fixed, but I'm sure it will get fixed soon. There is a new preview out, which I have not checked out yet, which may have fixed that bug, in fact, so I should probably check that out. Now, I've been building here, and I've completely neglected the fact that I didn't want to do this. I want to do something different here. So, that kind of explains what's going on with my LP World rebrand. What other series is there on my channel now? LP, Feed the Beast, Tutorials, Monaco. Oh, Safe Haven. Safe Haven's not going to change. Safe Haven, I'm really happy with the editing on that, and I think everyone else is too, so I'm going to kind of keep that as is. I didn't get any wool, did I? Typical. I'm going to have to go get some wool. So that kind of explains where the rebrand's at. It's going to be slow. It's going to be painful. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to lower this all one block because it interferes with the redstone in this room here. Oh, yeah, I needed to lower all of this one block, I think. Because when we get into the storage room here, there's this stuff right here, and there's redstone on this. And I could just either stone brick the roof, which I may well do, and put lamps in it. And it might not be such a big deal, but I wanted to do some sort of fancy glowstone pattern. Although it kind of does mess up literally everything I've built here, so I think I will probably just change the roof pattern, to be honest, than try and mess around with all of that. And it means replacing a load of blocks and things like that, so I guess we'll just roll with what we've got for now. I don't need all of this stained glass. I probably meant to pick up some of the wool instead. So, now we've talked about the rebrand and we've kind of got that out of the way. Another project that's been going on behind the scenes, I am working on events for you guys to get involved in with the Game Mode Network. I kind of alluded to this in a video I did with my buddy and co-owner Mondo a while back, that we were gonna start offering events and stuff like that, and we have been working tirelessly on that for some time now. This has been a project that has been going on since even before that video was released, so it's coming together. It's just going to take a little bit of time. We have our ideas organized. I'm in that stage where I'm preparing paperwork now. You know, I don't want that. I'd rather have iron than flint. So that's going to be exciting. I'm really looking forward to announcing the details of that. I'm not going to give anything away yet because some things may not work, etc., etc. So we're not going to talk about that too much right now, but that is one thing I am working on actively, is events for the Game Mode Network. And these are events that you will be able to get involved in. And I will let you know with more details when they roll around regarding that. So that kind of talks about one other thing I've been working on. There are some other projects that I'm working on that I'm going to leave unnamed, but you could consider, I wouldn't like to use the word reward, but kind of a thank you for having a lot of patience with me while this rebrand's been going on and stuff like that. And the events kind of tie into that, as does the rebrand. You know, it's making my channel better. It's making the experience for you guys more enjoyable. And it all kind of falls into place, really, rather quickly. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that very, very soon I'll have some more news and projects are going to get close to being done, to the point where I can really talk about them a little bit more and kind of explain. But I have some other things in the pipeline. I have some other games I want to play that I think you guys will like. And I'll explain more about those when the rebrand is done. I don't really want to get into too much new stuff until the rebrand is done. Certainly not new games or anything like that. Feed the Beast was kind of an exception to the rule, really. Until the rebrand is done, I kind of want to leave alone regarding new games. We already have one with Monaco. If Monaco gets done before I finish the rebrand, then we'll move on and do something else, of course, but I'm not going to start loads of random new games just to try and, you know, fill up content and stuff. I do want to kind of, not necessarily, well, I guess thank you is the best way I could put that, is, oh, we've used up all that glass now as well, from that stack at least. So I want to thank you guys, and I think some of you may kind of be a bit confused about this if you're new to my channel, but a while ago, I used to upload videos every day, and now it's gone down to every other day, and this is something I do feel pretty bad about, because I feel like I'm letting you guys down a little bit. I want to return to putting videos out one a day, and that will happen. It's just that this rebrand stuff requires time, it requires energy, and to get it done, I need to sacrifice some video time for right now. But I can assure you, I am going to be fulfilling that promise and returning to one video every day. I can't put a date on it right now, because I really don't know. It depends how long this rebrand takes. If all goes to plan, I want to have the rebrand done within a month or two at tops. I mean, that is sort of a long-term deadline. I mean, as soon as I get shaders out, I could sit down for a day and do the LP template. The tutorial template will get done within a day. I mean, this is kind of like day jobs if I focus, and the video descriptions are what are taking the time. Did I really want to make that? I wanted to make redstone lamps as well. Let's go back. So yeah, I mean, I think that hopefully soon we will have more content available for you guys. I do want to thank everyone who viewed my Feed the Beast videos. I put out 2 of those. I recorded an hour-long session. And the response from the view count and what I've been able to see through analytics and stuff, and I don't really read too much into those, but in this exception, the response was phenomenal. So, you know, 60 views within a couple of days, that is amazing. So I thank you guys so much for your support. It means an incredible amount to me that you guys are interested and eager to find out what I'm up to and stuff like that. It really says a lot about people who watch my videos. And there are many, many people out there who watch my videos regularly, and that, you know, they really have dedicated a lot of time to me, so I can't thank you enough for the time that you guys put in for me, and the patience that you have for me with this rebrand and so on. So again, a huge, huge thank you to everyone who is viewing and so forth. I don't like to make a big deal out of this. I find that people can make a really big deal out of it when it's really not warranted. But I think that in this case, with the 500 subscribers, 100,000 views is coming up, and so on, I think it is time that I actually mentioned that and, you know, just reaffirmed the fact that I'm still incredibly thankful for the work that people put in for me, and the time, the advice, the feedback, everything like that. And hopefully these events will be just one way that you will get rewarded. And I don't like using the word reward because it sounds to me like, you know, you're kind of like some sort of pet, or, you know, or something like that, and I don't like using that word, but I can't really think of a better way to put it. I don't like to, you know, kind of refer to you in that way, so I sincerely apologize. That's not meant to offend you, that's meant to be a compliment. So I think we've kind of reached the end of that discussion. I hope you enjoyed. Where's my fortune pick? There it is. So let's get back to the actual LP world here. We've just been building for a while, and I will need to kind of explain a little bit about what's actually going on here. So I'm building this tunnel system, as you've probably gathered by now, and we're kind of experimenting with designs. I wanted to go with cyan stained clay because I felt that it's a nice looking block for modern tunnels, and I haven't really encountered any other block that looks really good, that is relatively cheap to make as well. That's really important. I mean, I could build it out of iron blocks, but what would be the point in that? It would take me forever to get the resources I need. It gives me a reason to build an iron farm, but even so, I think that time could be better well spent than doing that. So, cyan stained clay I think is a good block for this. I've always felt that ever since this block came out, and I looked at all the clay colours, I was like, this is a modern style design block, and I've seen it in use, certainly in custom maps, quite a bit for modern areas. I kind of want that to remain as is, so we're probably just going to do that for right now. And do something along these sort of lines. That's a very narrow line there. I don't like that lamp being exposed, but I think it will be okay. I want to keep it like that because it keeps in sync with everything that we've got going on here. I don't really want to mess all of that up as well, just for viewing the side of a block. So the idea now is going to be, I'm going to get all of this clay and kind of replace this tunnel up to where the lime is, right here. And I'm going to finish up the stairs. Oh, there's an Enderman. I think he must be upstairs. And these lamps here, I need to get some levers to power them. I don't have any wood on me right now. And I'm going to power these levers, power these redstone lamps using levers. And that should give us a nice sort of smooth effect in the roof. And that's what I'm kind of trying to go for here. One thing I'm thinking about doing is, I don't have the right colour stained glass right now, nor do I have my silk touch pick, so I can't really show you, but I want to have like tubes and pipes running in all around here, and they may have water in, lava in, things like that. And it will sort of form a pattern down here, and they'll go up and down, maybe all around as well. We could, you know, make it go 360. Not so much on the floor. The only thing I'm worried about, though, is if I have lava near this wall, it's going to burn. But that's just something we'll have to experiment with. Maybe I'll have lava more up on the roof type situation. And of course, if we get a creeper in here, that could be disastrous. So we may just stick with water for safety reasons. Because you never know, you can end up with a creeper in here, and that could be not too pleasant. I did actually want to work a little bit on the farm site where the AFK fish farm and the snow farm are going to go and things like that. But I honestly think by the time we've done this, we will have probably run out of time. I know we haven't done too much today, and I apologize for that, but it just gave me a good chance to kind of update you here. I don't know how long exactly we've been recording, so we're just going to pass the night, and I'm going to get some wood. Here we go. I'll just take a sip of juice at the same time, and I'm going to head back out here. And I have tons of wood in the chest, so it's not going to be hard to get access to it. Hello, zombie, burning up over there. So, do I have any sticks in here? I do. I have a lot of wood from that mineshaft trip that we did. And I'm going to make that amount of levers. That's good, 29. You'll just burn through these things, but they're more resource efficient than redstone torches. Oh gosh, if I was to do redstone torches for all of this, it would be so expensive. And this lab is already expensive enough as it is, and this base in general. So I don't want to make it any more expensive than I have to at this point. So let's see how this looks. Kind of do a draft here. Let me know what you think regarding the pipe idea. If you would like that. I can probably set up a demo if I run and get my Silk Touch pick. But that might be a little bit of a hassle. But we can always try. I don't even think I have any... the colour I want to use is probably the light blue stained glass for that, because I think that's the best colour for water pipes. So we might do that, probably. So let's take these out. Kind of see what this looks like. There we go. Yeah, not bad. Take that one out, I guess, as well. Though we're going to have to do some adjustments to that very soon if we want to extend that corridor. So it's a bit bland, which is why I want to add in the pipe formations. Oh, you know what? That's going to mess up with the wall if I do it on the bottom layer, so it may just be a kind of floating thing. So let's run and get the Silk Touch pick. And I won't put water in there now because it's just going to make a mess everywhere. But what I'll do is I will kind of show you what I mean a little bit. And let me know what you think on that. So my Silk Touch pick should be in here. I just don't want to waste stained glass. It's expensive enough as it is to craft. Normal glass, not so much, because I have a desert next to the mesa that I can use for resources. But, you know, the bone meal, it's not really a resource that I have unlimited of. Although I do have a skeleton spawner, which I want to do something with over actually at the mesa now. So I may build a skeleton trap just to make bone meal for all the white stained glass I'm going through. But at any rate, it's still, you know, better to be conservative than, you know, to waste stuff, really. So this is going to be kind of difficult to show because there won't be stone back there. It will be water and more cyan stained clay. So the idea is we're going to kind of have like a pattern that might jut out a little bit like this. Maybe not on the bottom one there. And let's fill this in with white stained glass. Like this. And there will be water behind that. The only thing I'm worried about is maybe it will drip, but I guess that's not a big deal. I could even turn particles off if it got annoying. So let's continue a little bit here. Let's kind of see what this looks like. I actually quite like the stained glass, the white stained glass in here. I'll just have to see what it looks like with water behind it, I guess. And we could kind of do something a little bit like that, maybe. We may have sections like that where it kind of gets raised up. Like maybe we could change that there. Put some clay in and connect that. Yeah, I like that a little bit more. And it wouldn't really... It might affect the redstone lamp. If it does, what I'll do is I'll put a redstone block up there. It will be a cool effect as well. I have quite a bit of redstone, so I don't mind spending a little bit on that. Although, saying that, I'm going to breeze through a lot of my redstone in big builds, so I may have to do some mining to get more. But that's easy enough. I have a branch mine, so I'll just have to spend some time digging some tunnels and getting my redstone that way. So this is what I'm thinking about going for all around the base. Maybe not up the staircase, but from here all through the corridor until we get to the main storage room. That's going to kind of transition into a different feeling zone. But then when we go out again, then it will be more of the same of this. As far as actual areas go, and say if you're going to transition zones, this is going to be a flavor of stained clay. It's not going to be redstone blocks. I may either go with a 3x3 door like that, or I may go with an archway like that. I've not really decided yet. The 3x3 door would be a lot more work all over the place, but the effect might be cooler, so I may do the 3x3 doors. This is, after all, it's a lab. You want it to feel lab-like, with lots of automated doors and things like that. And once you go down here, for example, you will have doors to get into the different rooms that we're going to have, which they're going to need independently decorating as well. I'm going to have to think about that after we build our farms and all the different crazy things that we're going to have down here in the lab. So this is a big project in of itself to actually get done. What I may do off camera is, I'm certainly going to finish this off, that's a given, but I may finish the rest of this corridor and kind of start work on maybe some of the other ones. Oh yeah, we've got this right here. This is where the zombie grinder is. If I go straight down, I hit the zombie grinder there. I wonder if there's a way I could kind of integrate that, maybe. I certainly don't want to use a staircase that goes down and up. Maybe a ladder, something like that. Possibly, that we could use. I could build a staircase down the side and then in. That's definitely a possibility, and I've got the coordinates marked there. That may not be such a bad idea, actually. Go through here, go down a staircase, and then go around. I don't think a ladder would look very good around there. I may put a window in, though, something like that. But we'll just, again, have to see on that. So probably what I'm going to do is at least finish this corridor. And then next episode, before we head out and do our little challenge, I'll probably show you the progress I've made and what it looks like. Let me know what you think of this idea. It might not be white stained glass again. It could be light blue. It also varies the colour, because we've got a lot of whites and cyan in here. I guess it's more of a grey than a cyan, but you know what I mean. So I may change the colour a little bit in order to just make it a little bit more like it pops, if that makes sense. And it looks a little bit nicer. I mean, it looks nice, but it might stand out a little too much, especially once the water's behind it. So, regarding the water, it may be more of a panelled effect. Like I'll dig out the whole wall back there and pour water in so it's all flowing down. Or I could put source blocks in, I'm not sure. I'll just have to figure that one out on my own and come back with a decent looking design. And we may even hop into a creative world in another episode for that. But anyway, I'm rambling. The episode is getting on here, so I think it's about that time again to call the episode for today, guys. I apologise that we've probably not got as much done as we would have liked to have done today. Certainly, this kind of stuff is not much progress, but it's certainly beginning to flesh out a concept, and it did give me an opportunity, as I say, to talk to you guys a little bit more about the aims for the future and short-term, long-term goals in this series. I just see a witch. I swear my eyes are playing tricks on me sometimes. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, guys, and I hope to see you next time. So until then, see you later, and have a good day.